Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reading Reddit with Amber. We haven't done a wedding video in a little while, and weddings tend to bring out the weird in people. So here are a batch of wedding-related stories. They're from r/AmITheJerk, but most were also posted to r/Bridezillas. Also, unrelated to this video, but I love Halloween, and I want everyone to have a fantastic Halloween season, even if things are going to look a little different this year. I run a craft blog and a recipe blog, both of which are in Halloween mode right now, so for the next few weeks I'll be posting links to these in the description box that you can check out if you're looking for spooky inspiration. Anyway, on to today's video. Our first story is, Am I the jerk for choosing my niece, 9-year-old female, over my fiance's little sister, 8-year-old female, to be a flower girl? Our intended wedding date is July 2021, should everything go accordingly. The main tiff between the fiancé and I at the moment is the bridal party, well, the flower girl. He's 29 but has a much younger biological sister who is 8. Because of the difference, their relationship is more uncle and niece than brother and sister. I have a niece from my older sister, who's 9, but I'm a big sister to her. Getting engaged, I knew right away my niece was going to be my flower girl. Whenever my fiancé and I drop by his parents, his little sister asks if she can be a flower girl. It's a little awkward. I'm not close to her. Again, my fiancé isn't close to her. I joke she's going to need to fight my niece over that. In August, we had a get-together with both his and my family to announce the bridal party. His little sister was there and was super excited and announced to everyone she was going to be the flower girl. Again, I chose my niece. To make things a little more awkward, his little brother, 11-year-old male, is the ring bearer. His sister obviously looked hurt afterward. Since then, my fiancé has received messages from both his mom and dad asking if we could find a spot for her in the wedding because she's feeling left out and like her brother doesn't love her. He was comfortable with just my niece being the flower girl, but now his opinion is turning because he's getting so frustrated with the messages. He's now saying we can have 2 flower girls, but I don't want that in my wedding. I made a choice and would like him to stick up for me. Am I the jerk? OP is definitely the jerk here. What's wrong with having 2 flower girls? I feel like that's pretty common, and it's such a small part of the wedding. Plus, the wedding is for OP and her fiancé. He should have a say in the wedding party too, and if he wants his little sis to be a flower girl, then his sis should be a flower girl. Even if he didn't care before, he's changed his mind, and that's okay. Also, why announce the wedding party in front of both families like that when you knew that his sis was expecting a part? She's a child, and she's bound to feel sad when her brother gets a part and she doesn't. That feels unnecessarily cruel. Our next story is, would I be the jerk for not inviting my sister to my wedding as she's joked about ruining it after I ruined hers? 3 years ago, my ex-boyfriend proposed to me at my sister's wedding in front of everyone while giving what was meant to be a best man speech. He was friends with the groom. It was not approved by anyone, especially not me or my sister, and I said no in front of everyone, and he stormed out. This definitely distracted from events, so I left shortly after, apologizing profusely. It's been a few years since then. My sister has said she's over it, but she really isn't because she brings it up every time we see each other, and she's made it clear that she still holds a grudge. We were really close before. I was her maid of honor, but after that she sort of pulled away from me. I'm now engaged, not to the proposal guy, to another fella. We're planning the wedding for early 2022. My sister has been, quote, joking about payback for years now, saying that when I get married, she's going to do something to, quote, ruin the wedding. I don't know what, but I have my theories, the front runner being announcing a pregnancy or some other milestone during the reception. We've had a conversation recently, about a month ago, where she said something like that, and I said, I know my ex was a jerk, but please remember that I didn't want him to do that, and please don't pull a stunt at my wedding. and her response has usually been something like, "Wow, yeah, I bet someone announcing a major milestone at your wedding would really ruin your event, though you probably wouldn't understand that unless it happened to you," or words to that effect. I have apologized multiple times, but it's been 3 years, and she still holds a grudge against me. I was talking with my mom earlier. She asked if I started planning yet. I said no, and Mom says that I should get my sister to help, and I just sort of said that I'm not even sure about inviting her. It just kind of slipped out, to be honest. In the rest of the conversation, I admitted, after Mom pressed me, that I was unsure about inviting her because of these, quote, jokes she's made over the years. Because of nearly 4 years later, she's still making these jokes, then they're probably not jokes anymore, and inviting her might not be a good idea. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those brides that expects everyone to just put their lives on hold for my wedding, but I feel like she's basically said that she is planning to mess up my wedding. Mom, however, thinks I'm being unfair, that my sister is allowed to have feelings about her wedding day, and about mine, because my ex's actions did affect her day, and said that my sister is most likely only joking, and that I shouldn't take what she's saying seriously, and definitely shouldn't leave her off the guest list for my wedding because of the jokes. She's also said that if my sister isn't invited, then she, as in Mom, won't go either, in solidarity, and called me a bridezilla. Would I be the jerk for not inviting my sister? I'm going to say that OP is not the jerk. Her ex absolutely is a jerk for proposing at a wedding, but she was not responsible for his choice. The sister is directing her anger at the wrong person. Also, almost 4 years is a long time to be holding on to this anger. If you find yourself wanting to sabotage someone else's wedding because their jerk ex proposed unbeknownst to them at your wedding, then it's time to go to therapy, because that's not healthy. Our next story is, would I be the jerk if I wear a black dress to my son's wedding? Throw away because my main account has some personal posts that I don't want associated with this. I'm a 46-year-old female, and my son, who's a 26-year-old male, is due to marry a woman, 21-year-old female, in a month. She's okay. We have an okay relationship. I didn't approve of them dating at first, but they have been together for 3 years and she's starting to grow on me. There is some animosity between her family and myself. Nothing that I feel can't be overlooked, especially for their wedding. I have been looking for dresses for a few weeks now. I hadn't found anything I really liked until this weekend. However, the dress is black. I know there's some ideas that a mother-in-law wearing black to a wedding is inappropriate, showing she doesn't approve and such. But this is the only dress that I like. I told my son about the dress and he seemed put off, but he's accepted it. I don't know if he'll tell his fiancée or not. I'm not going to keep looking for a new dress. The black one has been purchased. I know how it will look, but honestly, if my son is okay with it, I don't exactly see the problem. The only reason I think I may be the jerk is due to the supposed inappropriateness of it. Otherwise, I don't really see anything wrong with wearing it. So would I be the jerk if I wear this black dress to the wedding? I'm going to say that OP would be the jerk. She has, at best, lukewarm feelings toward the bride-to-be. She knows the connotations of wearing black as the mother of the groom. She persisted, even after her son, the groom-to-be, expressed discomfort with this choice, and doesn't seem at all concerned that the bride is probably going to be upset with the choice. Quote, if my son is okay with it, I don't see the problem. The son is only half of the equation, and he was resigned at best. That's the problem. There are so many dress options out there, I'm sure she could find one in the same style in a different color. You know what will happen if you wear that black dress? It's not going to reflect badly on the bride or the wedding. It's going to show people how much of a jerk you are. You will be that mother-in-law. Our next story is, am I the jerk for refusing to walk up the aisle as best man? My best friend Liam is getting married in January. He asked me to be his best man and his brother, Craig, to be his groomsman. His fiancée asked Craig's wife to be her maid of honor and another friend to be her second bridesmaid. My wife is Liam's sister and has not been included in the wedding at all, despite us having Liam as our best man when we got married last year. There's been some falling outs in the family over the past, and the result is we are very estranged from Liam's fiancée. I'm sure if she could, she wouldn't have let him ask me to be best man. My wife cannot stand her and is really hurt to be the only sibling excluded from the wedding. Now the problem. For some reason, Liam's fiancée wants the groomsmen to walk up the aisle with the bridesmaids before she enters. She said technically I should walk up linked with Craig's wife since I'm best man and she's maid of honor, but she thought it would be, quote, sweet to let Craig and his wife walk together, so I'd be with the other bridesmaid. An important note is that bridesmaids are both wearing white. I don't get it. So honestly, it's going to look like 3 weddings at once. The whole thing feels like Liam's fiancée has set it up to spite my wife since she'll have to sit and watch me walk up the aisle in a suit, holding the arm of another woman in a white dress as part of a wedding she should have been part of. I told Liam I wasn't comfortable with it and he said I was being unreasonable and it's only 30 seconds, then I can sit with my wife, and that I should be glad his fiancée wasn't asking me to dance with the bridesmaid during the first dance. But this isn't just 30 seconds then done, it's one of the most important moments in the wedding. Everyone will look and there will be lots of photos of it. My wife is already apprehensive about the fact that she'll be alone during cocktail hour while I'm photographed with the wedding party. At my wedding, the groomsmen were already at the altar before the bridesmaids entered, so I don't see why Liam couldn't just tell her to do something like that. He said his fiancée's word on the matter is final, and if I don't agree, he'll ask his brother to be best man instead. I got angry then and told him what I think of his fiancée and how much it hurt my wife by not including her. He responded by saying his fiancée would have asked her to be a bridesmaid, but there's been too many falling outs since they got engaged in 2018. I honestly think he just said that to be a jerk and blame his sister. We haven't spoken in the few days since then. Am I the jerk here? Because I feel like I'm being forced to be uncomfortable and make my wife uncomfortable in the process. OP is being a jerk here. I don't know why he would expect his wife to be in the wedding party for someone she hates. Also, no one is going to look at him walking down the aisle with a bridesmaid and suddenly get confused about who the bride and groom are. It's common for people in the wedding party to be paired up with someone who's not their partner, and nobody thinks anything of it. Another thing, since OP's wife is the sister of the groom-to-be, I'm assuming that the reception will have a lot of her family members, so why is it such a big deal if he leaves her alone with them? This post doesn't have me questioning why OP's wife isn't included. It has me questioning why OP is still the best man. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving it a like or letting me know in the comments. I post new videos twice a week, funny or outrageous ones on Wednesdays and spooky ones on Sundays. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.